A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to our special session on International Yoga Day. Today's session on regaining balance in our lives is going to be led by Shivani Sahani. Shivani Sahani is not a new name for us. She has taken multiple workshops in chef. She is a global yogi and a healer with a background in business and psychology. She has vast experience working in corporate India and United States. After a 10-year stint with corporate multinational across the globe, she branched off to pursue her passion, teaching yoga and counseling clients. Shivani has successfully completed her teacher training as a yoga therapist from the Shivananda School in Kerala. With vast experience in teaching yoga both overseas and in India, she believes in assisting and empowering people through yoga, with specializations in Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Restorative Yoga, Yin Yoga, mindfulness, pranayam, and chanting techniques. Shivani also works with behavioral therapy, yoga therapy, emotional freedom technique, and other forms of energy healing. Through her work, she works with aligning yoga, yoga therapy, and psychological techniques to assist and equip her clients with effective strategies to better manage and coping with their life situations and challenges at the emotional, mental, and behavioral levels. Some of the conditions that she tackles in a therapy session are anxiety, stress, hypertension, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and phobias. Shivani's therapy style and approach are quite unique and have incredible benefits. They are tailored to personally suit her client's individual needs, employing both traditional yogic techniques and modern psychological techniques. A truly unified approach in yoga and therapy to provide an enriching, holistic, and rejuvenating experience. So I invite you, Shivani, for the session now.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi. Is this? Can you all see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for the introduction. I'm very honored and pleased to be here and to share this beautiful day with everybody. So, wishing everyone a happy International Yoga Day, and just wanting to share with you some practices that we can include which come from our yogic scriptures. When we mean yoga, so a lot of people, unfortunately limit the whole understanding of yoga to just what we do on the mat, either in the morning or in the evening. Yoga is actually a way of life. Yoga is a lifestyle. Yoga is something which when we incorporate that into our life, it teaches us how to relate with the world around us. It teaches us how to form a union. So the word itself, yoga, it means a union. So the union of, you can say, mind and body. When we use our breath through our yogic practice, we very effectively unite the mind and the body. And just like there is an internal union going on in the body of the body and the mind within the human being, there is a union going on with us and the world, because we are constantly relating and engaging with the world. So when we consciously relate with the world, we are uniting with the world. So yoga is something that is going on at multiple levels in our life. So I want to just start with talking about how when we incorporate this conscious understanding of yoga, or yoga as we call it in English, we bring about a great sense of balance in our life. It teaches us how to manage our lives at multiple levels, at the emotional, physical, mental, intellectual, and even the spiritual level. Though it seems from what people know of yoga that yoga is a very physical way of activity, it is this physical activity, or the asanas that we call them, or the postures that we call them, is what leads to physical balance. And this physical balance slowly translates into our world and comes and gives us emotional balance, it gives us mental balance, and it gives us a sense of intellectual balance. Now, when we talk about balance, I want to just share a presentation with you, and then we will do a little bit of a mindfulness session. So just give me 1 second. Can you all see the presentation? Great, great,
Yes.
great. Yeah, lovely, lovely. So yeah, so talking about balance. So what we're going to do is we're going to just all come together here. We are multiple people on this session, so we're going to all just come together here consciously and just bring some balance into this entire community that has collected to bring us here together. So I'd love for you to please close your eyes, and Sanya, can we play the music? And then we will do some breathing. So let's all of us close our eyes and just take a deep breath in. So nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then slowly, as we keep our eyes closed, I'm going to just wait for the music to come on. So just close your eyes till we get the music on. Dharth, can you help with the music, please?
Just a second. Shivani, can we temporarily stop the screen share for the music?
Sure, we can. Yeah, okay.
I will just play the music. Can you please stop? Okay, I'm playing for 1 second.
Our eyes closed. On our breath as we slowly inhale and exhale through the nostrils. We're bringing our awareness to our environment, our inner body. The breath is a beautiful tool that we can move from the external world to the internal world. As we inhale and exhale consciously, our inner body and within us, sensations within the body. Attention and the awareness, center of our heart. As we take our attention Chakra, Anahata Chakra. And then slowly we take our attention and our awareness to the center of our heart. Just connecting with our inner selves, connecting with the silence and the stillness within us. Still focusing on our breath and focusing on keeping the body as still as we can, keeping the spine straight, keeping the shoulders relaxed, and just going inwards and connecting with our body. Let's take another moment to just observe the sensations in our body as we connect with our inner world. So you might feel some sensations, any kind of tingling. So just connecting with that inner space within us. Witnessing our inner consciousness, witnessing the self. Just feeling completely centered as we sit on our chair or on the ground, just feeling completely and absolutely centered. And deeply relaxing in this center. And then slowly, once we're ready, just recognizing like we have an inner world, we have an outside world as well. So gently taking our own time, we'll slowly open our eyes and we'll come back to this space. We'll come back as a united whole, a big union of participants enjoying International Yoga Day as we proceed with our presentation. So welcome back. As we just experienced this sensation in our body, in our mind, when we went inwards, it was a great, reminder that it's very important to connect with ourselves regularly, to really listen to the body, because we get so wrapped up and so consumed in the outside world that we forget that to bring balance to our life, we need to even tap into our inside world. We need to tune in. And one very important part of tuning in is to bring that balance. Now, when we talk about balance in life, our yogic scriptures talk about various aspects of balance. So from modern techniques of positive psychology and from the yogic practices, I've put together certain elements that maybe we could start addressing in our life to bring about this balance. So basically, let's start by how it is so very important to relax in life. We're always on a go, pushing forward, trying to achieve things, trying to accomplish things, which is absolutely great. We must have that drive inside us, taking us forward. But let's not forget, it's very, very important to be active, to be successful, and to actually be proactive and sustain that success and that proaction and the energy in our life. We need to have me time. We need to relax. So how do we bring this relaxation element into our life? I think it's very important to spend some time with ourselves. What we just did, a practice as simple as that. Possibly having 1 or 2 days of the week where there is no screen time. Try and avoid the television. Try and stay away from your phone. Yes, it's asking for a lot, but these are just ways that will help your mind to relax. Our nervous system gets triggered very easily. So the rays that we get from the television, from the laptop, from the phones, it actually wires the brain up and the brain goes into overdrive. So to truly relax the mind, very important to have that 1 day of the week, maybe more if you can do, to really be away from your TV, from your phone, and as little time on your laptop as possible. Have a gratitude journal. This is a great practice to bring balance to your life. When we can, spend about 5 minutes every day just journaling in everything that we're grateful for. I can't tell you how relaxing it is. I personally started doing this exercise a couple years ago. And when I look back and I read it, even at that time, it brings me so much comfort and relaxation. So please, I would urge you, I know it sounds like, you're in school and you're doing something, but start keeping a diary or a journal where you journal in your feelings, your emotions, and especially those of appreciation and gratitude, because these two aspects of life create great relaxation in our life. Also, start working on a skill or a hobby. When we do that, it could be anything, it could range from, a skill in a sport, a skill in a subject area. It could be, in psychology and biology and physics, in music and dance. It could be an activity like cooking, gardening, dancing, singing. So tap into yourself and see what is that one hobby or that one skill that you used to nurture or that you enjoy, and bring that into your life. That will really help you relax at an emotional level. And I would urge you to make that a part of your weekly life, if not, 2 or 3 times a week. So bring that into your life and nurture that hobby. Then food and water. We don't give food and water as much importance as we should to bring balance in our life. Food is the fuel that we put into our body, and our body grows in multiple ways because of what we put in. It's like putting fuel into a car, and when the fuel runs out, the car stalls. So same thing, if we don't put good food into our body or enough water into the body will go into disease, it'll go into sickness. So being very mindful of how we are eating. So just a few things. Please cut down sugar levels. Artificial sugar should be a no. If we need it, we should use good jaggery. We could use organic honey. White sugar, refined sugar, please throw it away from your kitchen. It is not healthy for the body. Same thing with excess salt. Too much salt is also not very good. It creates water retention. So I would also request up to cut down our salt intake. And then obviously reduce deep fried cooking or fried cooking. Try and have as much as fresh food as you can. Incorporate fruits and vegetables into your life. It's very good for the digestive system. And the new brain is now the gut brain, which is our intestines. So the more fruits and vegetables we put into our system, the more we are nurturing our body by bringing balance into the nervous system, into the digestive system. The entire body starts functioning better. Then, of course, let us drink enough water. I hope we are drinking enough water, because water is very, very essential for the body. So, up your intake of water. Minimum, we should be having 8 to 9 or even 10 glasses of water a day. So, consciously, please start having that. Also, the last meal of the day should be at least 3 hours before we go to bed. So if you're sleeping at a certain time, make sure you finish dinner 3 hours before going to bed. If we just do these, these little activities that we've spoken of, you will realize your body naturally comes into homeostasis, into a sense of balance. Then yoga, movement. So really move the body, exercise the body, because when we do that, we are bringing a sense of alignment, we're bringing a sense of strength into our body. Movement is so essential for the body. So please walk as much as you can, do yoga if you can, exercise. You can do high intensity training, you can do strength training. It's very good for the legs. The stronger our legs, the stronger the body, because our legs are what support the body. So really focusing on yoga asanas or on your other forms of exercise, if you prefer doing that. I'm no one to dictate that you must do yoga. I personally think it is the best form of exercise on the planet. But if someone wants other forms of movement, then just make sure that the body is moving enough, because it is very good for you. It is good for your knees, it is good for your hips, it is good for your shoulders, it is good for your glute muscles. Most of the injuries or areas of complaint in the world are your neck, your shoulders, your hips, your knees. 75% of body ailments, physical body ailments nowadays, research is showing this, is your knees, your shoulders, your neck, your hips. So when we keep moving, when we keep exercising, we are strengthening our legs, we are strengthening our body, we are building muscle strength. As we age, our muscles also deteriorate, we lose muscle. So it's very important to bring that aspect into the body. So I urge you to, for balance and good health, to exercise, to move, to do yoga as a regular part of your daily routine or your weekly routine. Then sleep, we tend to underestimate the importance of sleep. So sleep is so essential for the body because it recharges the body. Sleep is what reboots your body. When we sleep, the body heals, the body repairs, the body prepares you for the next day. So it's very important to sleep early, to wake up early, and to sleep at least a minimum of 7.5 hours every day. How you do that 7.5 hours, you can break it up if you wish to. If you can do a continuous 7.5 hours, excellent. Please try and have a night routine when you go to bed. So 5 or 10 minutes before sleeping, you could do some meditation. You could just spend some me time together. That's a very good time to journal in. Switch off your phones, your laptop, your TV, half an hour to 1 hour before you sleep. So the brain can also wind down. Just sleeping is not enough. We need good, deep sleep. When we had good, deep sleep, that is when the body deeply relaxes. So caffeine should be cut out after 12 noon or 1 p.m. After 1 p.m., let's try and avoid caffeine. So if we stick to these couple things, we can naturally create a sense of balance in our life. Then moving on to the self. Now, we're talking about yoga and about yoga, how it is like, how do you reclaim yourself? Because a lot of people are talking about anxiety, depression, a sense of panic, a sense of worry, especially with the pandemic going on. But when we truly connect with ourselves and we connect with our inner self, like we just did in that short meditation, we tend to create a form of trust with ourselves, a form of, inner stability. And that you can do through meditation as well, also a little bit through self-reflection. So when we are aware, we try and bring some meaning to our life. Life in itself, is pretty meaningless. There's this a Western philosopher, a French philosopher called Albert Camus, who talks about the absurdism of life. So absurdity means chaotic randomness of life. So we are all living and there's this world, but life is very episodic. It's very unstructured. It's very disorganized. It's up to us to bring structure, organization, and meaning in our life through what we enjoy, through what we do. So life is not meaningful. We need to create that meaning. And we are free to give any meaning to our life. As long as, we accept our current situation, our as is situation, truly accept it, and then work on making it from there, taking it and making it even better. Instead of going into criticism or into complaint mode, when we have meaning in our life, we create some form of depth into our life, which gives us purpose, and life starts becoming very joyful when you have meaning in your life. So let's start living a life which is meaningful to ourselves, and we are free to choose any meaning that we wish to. That also helps us to, be who we are, very authentic life. So you tend to stand up for yourself. We take charge of our life, we take responsibility of our life when we have meaning, when we give ourselves that feeling of being the protagonist in our own life. When you're living a life which is centered around as you being the locus of control instead of someone else outside, dictating terms to you. So let's stand up for ourselves. Let's take charge of ourselves, because that gives us so much courage and confidence. And it is this courage and confidence and responsibility which overpowers ailments like depression, ailments like anxiety, ailments like stress. You don't get stress when you are confident. Let me rephrase that. You don't get easily stressed when you believe that your life is balanced, and when you have the courage and the confidence to say, I will do this with patience. So when we have that sense of patience, when we have that sense of being who we are and recognizing who we are, and saying that even though situations around me are stressful, but I will not let them take over and consume me, because I am greater than my situation. I will not play victim to the situation, but I will rise above it because I am solution oriented. I'm taking responsibility. I am not blaming the external world. If there is something around me, I accept it and I look for solutions and strategies to work with it. And this requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of confidence. Sometimes we need to stand up, speak up. Sometimes we need to break barriers. We need to break traditions. We need to break stereotypes. We need to break biases which society has set up for us. So it makes it very difficult to live an authentic life. But when we practice yoga, when we believe in reclaiming ourselves, that is when this courage and this confidence, it just surges from within, and it makes us do what makes us happy, irrespective of society. So please stand up for yourself. It's a very important part of our yogic scriptures. They keep talking about this. The meaning of happiness in our life. A lot of people I hear complain, I am not happy, this is not what I had in mind. I didn't want my life to be this way, but life has turned out this way. Yes, that happens to everyone. We plan a life like this, but life is like this, like this, like this, like this. Sometimes it even goes there. It's far from what we planned. So how do we create a sense of happiness in our life? I think it's very important to make your daily life joyful. Little, events in life, things which are essential in life, things that we do every day, if we can do them joyfully, then automatically life starts becoming more joyful. So what is happiness? Happiness is this internal state of being. Happiness is not something which is outside of us, because you can wish for it and you can make happiness a destination and say, when I get this, I will be happy. When I do this, I will be happy. But happiness is actually absolute happiness, true happiness, genuine happiness is a state of being. It is a process, it is a journey. It is creating joy, creating a sense of pleasure in everyday life. When how we live, make that joyful. Bring happiness to the current moment. Create joy in daily living. And don't focus on the results. Focus on the process. The results will come. But when our journey is happy, the destination will obviously be happy. The results will be happy. So daily activities, if we can make those joyful and meaningful in our life, then life becomes effortless, because it doesn't seem like a chore. And when life is effortless, you feel better. So it's effortless effort. It's like doing things with a lighter state of being. Instead of stressing over it, say, it's okay, I will do it happily. So don't make it a burden, make it a joyful experience. And then one last bit, I think, which is very important in reclaiming ourselves, is live a life of appreciation and gratitude. Be kind, be fair, have gratitude for life as it is, the way it is. Because when we focus on what we have, we gain a lot in our life. When we focus on what we lack, what we have in our life also goes. So think about that. Like when you focus on what you lack, you lose what you already have, because you don't enjoy it. You're just focusing on what you don't have. But when you focus on what you have, you gain what you lack, because you're so happy with what you have. You've created that sense of gratitude, that sense of, of relaxation, of that sense of connectivity with your current life. You've accepted it and you appreciate it. So automatically you will start building up on that. And also one philosopher said that the root of all evil lies in the world of ignorance and taking things for granted. So I think when we are not appreciative and gratitude of our life the way it is, we're leading a very ignorant life. We are leading a life which we take for granted. Just living itself is such a pleasure. So let's take that wisdom and say that, we are going to bring these attributes of gratitude. Do daily acts of kindness, do one act of kindness a day. Just surprise someone with flowers, go give someone a hug, write a letter to someone, anything that, donate some money, go help a friend, donate your time, offer your time, be a listening ear to someone. Just these little acts of appreciation and gratitude bring you so much happiness and meaning, and they're so meaningful. Then one last thing we want to just talk about is when we live our life, we have two choices. We do things in our life because for the love of it, or because from the fear of it, or someone's told me to do this, so I'm doing it. So these little 6 points I put down, when we start living life with these constructs in our mind, life becomes so beautiful, and more love starts coming into our lives. So one thing is, we have to start from ourselves. Just love yourself as much as you can. Expand your bucket of love, fill your cup of love, fill your bucket of love. Because when we start loving ourselves, because we have love inside us, we can give that love to others. So our bucket will overflow. If we don't love ourselves, it's very difficult to love others. Instead of being inspired by others, you tend to get jealous by others. But when you have love inside you and you see someone doing so well, you're like, oh wow, I'm so inspired by this person. Live life fearlessly. Like we said, stand up for yourself, take charge of your life, live life fearlessly. Like, live such an authentic life that you're so sure about yourself. Bring that clarity into your life. Make humor, laughter, and joy a daily part of your life. This is so important, and yoga does this. The more you practice yoga, the mind becomes so light that automatically you start laughing more, you start smiling more, you start becoming so much more joyful. The aura around you, we unfortunately can't see the energy body, but the aura around you just kind of glows, and you walk into the room and the room lights up. Always remembering that life is a gift. So keep reminding yourself that this life at some point will get terminated. It's up to us. Possibly when it happens, we don't know when it will happen. So let's do our best to keep the body healthy, to keep the mind healthy, and to enjoy the life while we have it, because it's just so precious, and it's such a pleasure to be alive. And at the core of everything, no matter what we do, we have to believe in ourselves. Always, always, always. Because when we believe in ourselves is when we get this energy to bounce and to really show to the world who we are. And that's our purpose of being here. We are all such amazing, unique beings that we have so much to offer the world. So make your purpose to share your strength. Find meaning in your life and make it your purpose to bring this meaning out and contribute through that meaning to others. So help other people with your meaning. Whatever your meaning is, whatever your strength is, use it to uplift people around you. And when you start doing that and you start believing in yourself, automatically your meaning of your life will translate into a purposeful life where you'll be uplifting society without even knowing you're doing it. You'll be inspiring so many people around you that life will become joyful, not just for you, but for everyone around you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, the universe. There's no limit as to how we can inspire the world. And then I truly believe when we feel better, we live better. So there are 5 sources of energy, and yoga talks about these 5 sources of energy which help empower us. And it's very important to bring these 5 elements into our daily life. A lot of people I know don't have all these 5 in their daily living. So let's start doing this. Physical energy. So how we energize ourselves and how we, utilize this energy, or how we expend this energy, is the same. When you expend physical energy, for example, if you do yoga asanas, if you go for a walk, if you exercise, you go to the gym, you're dancing, it's physical energy expender. You expend it. While you're expending it, you're also energizing yourself, because our physical body is churning and regrouping. So we're energizing ourselves by dancing, by yoga, by moving, by walking. Walking is so energetic, by running. Mental energy. A lot of us work, we go to work, we do a lot of reading, we have a lot of intellectual discussions, mental stimulation. We write emails, we write letters, we write papers, we write books, journals, articles. So that is also very energizing. So let's do some amount of mental work every day, because when we expend mental energy, we also create mental energy. Let's not keep the whole day doing that. Let's balance it. Spiritual energy. So spiritual activities like chanting, like meditation, like mindfulness yoga, when you're really deeply going inside and doing yoga postures to relax the body and to connect with the body. Qigong practices from the East, Reiki practices, singing is like rhythmic recitation or chanting. All this is spiritual energy. Praying. What is praying? Praying is a deep acknowledgement of your goals, of your wishes, of your dreams. So when we pray for someone, or we pray for something, or we pray for a situation, it's actually expressing your deep desire for yourself or for someone else. That is very spiritual. It's a very spiritual activity. So let's do that every day. It's just, you know, reciting our dreams, our goals, our wishes, our hope, our aspiration. When we hope is when we accomplish. So everything starts with hope, and hope is a decision. Hope does not happen. You have to be hopeful. You have to decide, I am hopeful and this will happen. And the faith comes. And I truly believe where our limitations end, where our abilities end, our faith takes us forward. Because sometimes people have accomplished so much that they didn't think they were capable of. So remember, where our abilities end, our faith begins. And when we balance these energies, automatically that faith takes you so far. And what is faith? Faith is having hope. Faith is believing. You feel so good when you have faith or when you have hope. So let's start feeling better, because when we feel better, we live better. And mystical energy is a very humbling energy. It means that there is something out there which is so much larger and greater than me. You can call it, you know, the universe. You can call it the mystical realm. You can call it God. You can call it a superpower. You can call it this. You can call it space. You can call it the Brahman. But what is around us is inside us. The Aham Brahmasmi. The Brahman is inside of me. So when we live mystically, believing that the power of the universe is within me, miracles happen. And this is a very, very mystical form of living, acknowledging that there is something outside which is greater and far beyond my control. But when I have faith, when I believe, when I have hope, that power sinks into me and I become that. There's a very beautiful doha by Kabir. I forget the Urdu version of the doha, but the translation in English, and I apologize for that, but the translation in English is that we all know that a drop merges into the ocean, but very few know that the ocean actually merges into the drop. You know, I get goosebumps when I think of this. So it's the same thing. You know, you and I might be a drop in the ocean, but actually, as we are the drop in the ocean, the entire ocean has come into us. So open up your life to that feeling that you are the universe, you are that ocean. It's a very, very freeing feeling. And it's just so amazing when we live like this. Our courage and our confidence just goes through the roof. It's an amazing way to live. It makes you feel so good. So again, when we feel better, we live better. Just remember that. Homeostasis, we're talking about balance, biology of life. So I'm going to now quickly talk about this, because it's homeostasis is a scientific, phenomena which talks about rest and activity. So this is a little graph. So there is a horizontal axis at the bottom and a vertical axis on the side. The top loops are activity and the bottom loops are rest. Where healthy is written, it's the inside of the balance. So when we live with activity and rest at a balance, so the center point, just imagine a line running through that. When there's not too much activity and there's not too much rest, and it's balanced, life stays healthy. When we go into too much activity, we go into stress and we go into disease, like cardiac diseases, hypertension, anxiety, panic, respiratory ailments. All this happens because of too much activity and too much stress. Similarly, at the bottom, when we have too much rest, you go into stress, like chronic fatigue, like depression, like lethargy, you know. So these are all, with too much rest also goes into disease mode. So too much rest and too much activity without balancing rest and activity is displacing our energies. So this leads to diseases. So this is what homeostasis basically is. It's balancing your activity and your rest. And it's just the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So when we're in activity, the sympathetic nervous system is charged. When we are in rest, the parasympathetic nervous system is charged. The more we align this, We are kickstarting and pushing the parasympathetic nervous system to take charge. So regularly through our day, mindfully seeing how am I balancing my life? How am I balancing activity and rest in my life regularly? What am I doing to create this balance every day? How am I relaxing? So it's very important to relax at a daily level because this is excellent for the nervous system. Our mind, our body, our emotions function much better when we constantly are in activity and rest. Because if you keep going into activity, you'll burn out. If you keep going into rest, again, you'll get sluggish and you will get into inertia. You won't move. So keep that in mind. That's a very biological fact. It's homeostasis. And then from here, just we'll end with this. I think, yeah, then we're going to just do a little bit of yoga. So again, if we are not mindful of this balance element, which we've been talking about throughout from the, half an hour ago when we started talking about this subject, balance is bringing ease to the body. It's bringing relaxation to the body. That's the first topic we spoke of, how to relax, food and water. We spoke about, other forms of balancing in the body, you know, how do we create joy in the body? So all of that slowly translates into easing the disease or doing away with pain. Pain and diseases are not created overnight. It is a process. It's created over a long, long time. So because we are living very unconsciously, if we have a pain, we ignore it. If we have a pain, we don't even know we have a pain because we get so used to a paining body that you don't realize when new pains are coming up. So let's tap into ourselves. Let's spend time with ourselves and we can hear the body and we can listen to the body talking to us. When we consciously bring ease into our body, that is when we tune in. And it is this ease which removes the disease. Disease is the disarray. It's when things are in disarray. And the minute ease comes in, you help sort it out. So relaxation, fun, rest, reboot, reset, very important. We need to remove imbalances in our life. We need to tap in and feel where the body is imbalanced and how better than to really tune in, because when you tune in, your body talks to you. Let's listen to our body. I look at pain as, pay attention inwards now, because when we have pain, we need to focus on that. The more we focus on it and we give it energy, the more we relax that pain, the more we relax it and ease it out. So these were just a few points to say that, we can really work on our own pain and on our own diseases by consciously living a healthier and a more balanced life. Going to a doctor and going to the hospital is not something that we should all do when we age or throughout our life, because let's not let it get to that point. There's so much that is lifestyle related, and when we start living more consciously, we start changing our lifestyle, and when we change our lifestyle, we change our life. When we're changing our life, we're changing ourselves, we're changing our emotions, we're changing our mental makeup, we're changing physically, we're changing spiritually, our energy body is changing, energetically we are changing. So yoga is one way to do this, and today we're going to focus on, I got a lot of requests and recommendations to focus on a few particular diseases. So we'll do some asanas right now. So everybody, if you could please get into some comfortable clothes. If you're already wearing them, great. If not, remove what is not uncomfortable. I don't know if we have time to change. So we're going to look at anxiety and depression. We're going to look at hypertension, stress, and panic. We're going to look at cardiac ailments, respiratory ailments, and we're going to look at diabetes, blood sugar. So we've listed 3 asanas for each of these ailments. I don't want to call them disorders or illnesses because these can be cured. It's just the imbalance of ease in our body. All of these are created because of our own imbalance when we have not done justice to our body. So if we have any of this, we have to take responsibility for it. And then also saying, because I have created it, I can reduce it, I can balance it, I can take charge of my life and remove these from my life. So we'll do a little bit of yoga now. So let's get ready. So I'd urge all of you to please stand up. or to get onto your yoga mats and to open your yoga mats out, where we can just focus on, yeah. So we'll, can you pin us, please, Sanya? So we'll start with, the anxiety and depression. So we'll start with one of the main asanas, which really helps us deal with combating anxiety and depression. And it's also very good for our digestive system, is Vajrasana. So let's all just, it's a very easy asana. If you have pain in the knees, you can use a cushion. You can put a cushion behind your thigh. So Vajrasana, basically, we sit with the toes pointing back. We keep our hips on our heels and we sit straight. This is a very relaxing asana. It relaxes the digestive system because it takes extra blood circulation to our digestive system. It blocks the flow of blood into our legs. So if we can sit like this and just increase the time slowly, if today we can sit like this only for 1 minute or 2 minutes, gradually increasing it to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then, even more, as much as you can. This is very relaxing. It helps us kickstart the parasympathetic nervous system. So the body already literally goes into a relaxation state. So sitting in Vajrasana, this is one asana that we can practice for a very healthy, calm, balanced life. The next asana for anxiety and depression is the child's pose, or the Shishu asana, or the Balasana. So from Vajrasana, we'll go into the Shishu asana or the Balasana. So basically, we sit in Vajrasana. We'll take our arms up as we inhale. So deep breath in, inhaling, chin forward. As we exhale, we'll slowly come down and forehead to the ground. So keeping the forehead on the ground, you can keep the forehead down and you can keep the arms forward, or we can keep the arms and bring them back to relax the elbows and the shoulders. So just relaxing the arms. So this is Balasana or Shishu Asana, the child's pose, slowly coming back up. So we've done 2 asanas for anxiety and depression. The first was Vajrasana, which is what we're sitting in. Then child's pose or Balasana. And then the third asana, which is very effective, is Trikonasana. So it is a triangle pose. So let's all stand up. We'll stand up and we'll do the Trikonasana. The Trikonasana, in the Trikonasana, we open our legs out. It's also called the triangle pose. We open the legs out. You can turn the right foot on the heel, right heel, placing the right toe pointing to the shorter version of your mat. Upper body stays straight. As we inhale, we'll take the arms up. Arms are parallel to the ground. Palms are facing down. Palms are not up, they are facing down. Now we inhale deeply. On the exhale, we slowly bend to the right, keeping that left shoulder back. So the chest is also looking up. You hold your ankle or you hold your toe and you look up. So we look up. Now you can either keep your arm up. If you want a deeper stretch, you can bring the arm down parallel to the ground. This is the full Trikonasana or the triangle pose. If you can't go all the way down, you can even stay halfway. Whatever your body is allowing you to do. Basically, we should feel a stretch on the side of the body. You can take 3 to 4 deep breaths here, and then slowly we come back up. Now we'll switch our leg. So we'll again pivot the right foot on the right heel. This will come forward. We'll turn the left foot out, left toe pointing out. Upper body will stay squared, looking forward. Inhaling, arms up, big deep breath in. Arms are parallel, palms facing down. As we exhale, we bend to the left. Going all the way down, looking up. And you can keep your arm here. If you want a deeper stretch, you can take that arm down, close to the ear. Now, once again, if you can't hold your ankle or hold your toe, you can come up. You can be anywhere. Even this much is fine. Even if you can do this much, it's amazing. Make sure the chest is also looking up. So keep the right shoulder back. Keep the left shoulder slightly forward. If you can, align the right shoulder on top of the left shoulder. Looking up. Trikonasana. 3 or 4 deep breaths in this pose. And then slowly as we inhale, we come back up. Pivoting the left foot on the left heel, bringing it forward. Excellent. So we've done 3 asanas for anxiety and depression. So we started with Vajrasana, then we went into Balasana or Shishuasana, and then we went into Trikonasana. These 3 are excellent to combat any form of anxiety. So if you're feeling anxious, there are lots of other asanas you can also do, but these 3 will definitely help you. Now we'll go into hypertension, stress, panic. When hypertension, stress, panic happens, the body goes into imbalance. So one of the best ways of tackling it is doing a balancing asana. So we'll do Vrikshasana, the tree pose. It's an excellent asana to help us bring balance into the body. So we'll stand straight. Now you have an option. If you can, you lift your leg up, left leg up, keep the right arm out to keep balance. It gives the body aerodynamics. You can either bring the leg all the way up, if this is something you can do. If not, you can just keep it under the knee. We are not going to put it on the knee, not on the knee. So either put it above the knee or you put it below the knee. Because when we put it on the knee, you're pushing the knee joint, which is not what we want. We just want to balance on one leg. So let's take the right arm out, lifting the left leg up, placing it very gently, fixing our gaze at a point in front of us to keep our balance. And then we'll take the arms up in Namaste Mudra. So the arms are up in Namaste Mudra, palms are together, and we're stretching them up. 3 or 4 deep breaths in this posture. And then slowly we bring the arms down to the side, gently bringing them down. Same thing. If you tend to lose your balance while you are in Vrikshasana, if you think you are losing your balance, just open your arms out. Just do this. Automatically, body will balance. From here, bring them here. If you can't do this, you can even do this. Keep the Namaste Mudra at your chest. The purpose is to build balance. One more trick to build balance and to build ankle strength. Take your big toe of your foot and push it down. When we push the big toe down, automatically the arch muscle comes up. The arch of our foot comes up. And the ankle muscle gets stimulated. So push the big toe down, your balance will come. Try it. In either of the foot. Now we'll do the left side. You try it with the toe, big toe. Push the big toe down, consciously push it down. And you will see how your balance will become better. So now we'll take the on balance on the left leg, so left arm out. We're lifting the right leg again. The right foot goes above the knee or below the knee. Once we've created that sense of balance, arms out, we'll take the hands up in Namaste Mudra. Push the toe down, fix your gaze at a point in front of you, keep your balance. Elbows are straight. At any point, if you're losing your balance, just bring the arms down gently and you will keep the balance. And then slowly we bring the arms down and we come down. So this was for hypertension, for stress, and for panic, Vrikshasana. Now we will do the next asana. The next asana is Janushir Asana. Janushir Asana is an excellent asana to really relax the body. It is very good for the hips also. It's very good for the lower back. But it really puts the body into a deep rest. So it calms the hypertension down. So let's sit down on our mat. You stretch both the legs out. Pushing the knees down, spine is straight. We're sitting straight. Dandasana. This position is called Dandasana. We're sitting in Dandasana. Knees down, toes pointing up. Now we're going to bend the right knee. So let's bend the right leg at the right knee. Bring the right sole touching the inner left thigh. Bring that foot as close to the pelvis as you can. Bring it as close to the pelvis as you can. Removing any extra flesh from under our hips. Pushing the left knee down, making sure the left toe is up. As we inhale, we take the shoulders back. Take the arms up, palms facing forward, chin forward. With the chin forward, we push the body forward, coming down, holding on wherever we can, and deep breathing. Long, deep breaths. Long, deep breaths. Inhale to a count of 3 or 4. Exhale to a count of 6, 7, or 8, whatever you find comfortable. And then slowly we look forward, stretching the arms forward, inhaling, coming up, pushing the spine upwards, vertically extending the spine upwards, exhaling, arms to the side and down. Excellent. Now we'll swap our legs. This is once again Janushir Asana. Excellent hip opening. It helps us open up our hips. Helps us open up the side of our hips, the side of the abdomen, the side of the chest, the lower back. And it's very good to relax the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, which comprises of the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. When we calm that down, the body relaxes. So looking forward, again, pushing the right knee down, right toe pointing up, looking towards the right leg. Inhaling, arms up, palms facing forward, chin forward. As we exhale with the chin forward, going down. Once again, holding on wherever we can. And forehead to the knees. Deep breathing.
हम लोग अपना कैमरा खोलेंगे. Let's see you. Ah, nice, Adni. Let's see you all do it. The idea is to do the yoga.
And slowly bring the head up. Extending the arms forward. Inhaling, coming up. Vertically extending the spine upwards. Exhaling, arms to the side and down. So this was Janushir Asana, the second asana for hypertension, for stress, for panic. This is something which is very common in today's society. Lots of people are going through this. So please share this with your family, with your friends. The third asana is Paschimottanasana, or the seated forward bend. Again, very relaxing for the parasympathetic nervous system. So we sit straight in Dandasana. Knees are pushed down, toes are pointing up, shoulders are externally rotated, push down, head is pushed up. Visualize a rod at the top of your head, pushing your head up. From here, as we inhale, we take the arms up, palms facing forward, chin forward. As we exhale with the chin forward, we slowly bend forward, going down, just holding on wherever we can, forehead to the knees, and relaxing. Deep breathing, again, inhaling to a count of 3 or 4, exhaling to a count of 6, 7 or 8. Long, deep breaths from the nostrils. Now slowly as we inhale, we look forward. So looking forward first, the chin will come up, extending the arms forward, inhaling, coming up. Vertically extending the spine upwards, push that spine up, exhaling, arms to the side and down. Coming back in Dandasana. Great. So these were the 3 asanas we picked for hypertension, for anxiety and panic, for stress and panic. Now we'll move on to cardiac ailments, anything related with the heart. So again, we have 3 asanas for cardiac ailments. So the first one is the Ardhya Matsyendra Asana, the seated half spinal twist. So let's do this. Meenakshi, Kalpana, so we'll do the Ardhya Matsyendra Asana. So in this, once again, we start by sitting in Vajrasana. We sit in Vajrasana, then we take the hips to one side of our feet. We take the right leg and we place it on the left side of the left knee, placing both the hips on the ground. Keep that knee close to the chest. If the right knee is up, we will take the right arm up, extending it up, and then slowly bringing it behind us. Bringing it behind us, coming down. Fingers pointing backwards, keep the body straight. Taking the left arm across the chest. Pushing the right knee to the left with the elbow, holding on to the right ankle. Twisting and looking over the right shoulder. The Ardhya Matsyendra Asana. The half-seated spinal twist. Very good for the heart. This is also actually very good for blood sugar, for diabetes. And we haven't added this to diabetes because we've shown it here, but this is also very good for diabetic patients. Very good for the kidneys also. So looking over, 3 or 4 deep breaths here. With every inhalation, we push the spine upwards. So lengthen the spine upwards, push it up as you inhale. With every exhalation, we twist the chest more, we twist the body more, we twist the spine. The cervical spine, the thoracic spine, and the lumbar spine. We are trying to move all the 3 parts of the spinal column. And then slowly as we exhale, we come back. On the exhale, we come back to the center. Now we'll do it from the other side. So if you had your right knee up, now we'll bring the left knee up. So again, we take the feet to the left side of our hips. We sit straight. We take the left leg from the ankle, placing the left foot on the right side of the right knee. Sitting straight, both the hips are on the ground. So if you have one hip on the ground, place the other hip on the ground. Keeping the left knee straight, inhaling, left arm up. Exhaling, we bend, we turn, and we bring that arm down. Let me show you. We up and then we bring it down. Fingers pointing away. The right arm comes across, pushing the left knee by the right elbow, holding on to the left ankle, and then twisting, looking over the left shoulder. The Ardhya Matsyendra Asana, or the half-seated spinal twist. If you can't hold your left ankle, you can just do this. Just push that left knee to the right with the arm strength, and you can just hold like this. Because a lot of people can't touch the ankle or hold it. So if you're having difficulty holding the left ankle, just keep the arm here. You can keep it extended downwards. Chin over the shoulder. So twist the cervical spine as much as you can. Bring the chin as close to the left shoulder as you can. Deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, long deep breaths. And then slowly as we exhale, we come back to the center. You can just relax the body. So this was the Ardhya Matsyendra Asana for cardiac ailments. The next one we will do is we will do Setu Bandh Asana, which is the second asana for cardiac ailments. So let's do Setu Bandh Asana. In Setu Bandh Asana, again, we lie down. So coming to the top of your mat, just lying down, make sure there's some space behind that. So we come down, we keep the feet close to the hips, and we lie down. So just lying down, keeping the feet close to the hips. Arms are by the side of the body, palms facing down. Neck is in line with the spine. Keep the feet close to the hips. Open the feet out so they are in line with our shoulders. The shoulder and the heel should be in the same line. Toes should be pointing forward. Once again, the shoulder and the heel should be in the same line. Knees should not be together. Keep the knees apart. The upper legs are parallel to each other. So from here, we will inhale and we will hold. We'll do this once and we just hold the pose. So pushing into our feet, slowly going up. So we go all the way up. Pushing into our feet, going up, bringing the chest as close to the chin as you can. You can squeeze your hips to take the hips as far up and breathe. You just keep breathing. Long, deep breaths. One last round of deep breathing. And then slowly as we exhale, we come down. Gently coming down. And then you can turn to one side and you can sit up. So that was the Setu Bandh Asana. It's very good for cardiac ailments. It's also very good for the lower back. We also strengthen our lower back with Setu Bandh Asana. Now we'll do the next asana, which is also very good for cardiac ailments. It's the Adho Mukh Savanasana, or the downward facing dog. So let's lie down on our abdomen. You can tuck your t-shirt in if you wish to, because sometimes the t-shirt just comes up. So we'll tuck the t-shirt in, we'll stand straight, we'll go down, and we lie down on our abdomen. So just lie down on your abdomen, keeping the hands under the shoulder. Elbows are close to the body, toes are pointing back. The head, chest, and shoulders are up. So we come up, tuck the toes in, and you go up into Adho Mukh Savanasana, or downward facing dog. Pushing the tailbone into the sky, looking at your belly button. One last round of deep breathing. And then slowly we look forward between our hands. Gently we bring the hips down. Toes are pointing backwards. And slowly we go down. Stomach down, chest down, forehead down. And then gently we turn to one side and you can sit up. So these were the 3 asanas we did for our cardiac health. Let me repeat those once again. We did the Ardhya Matsyendra Asana. After that, we did Setu Bandh Asana, which is the bridge pose. Ardhya Matsyendra Asana was the twist. Then we did the bridge, and then we did Adho Mukh Savanasana, which is the downward facing dog. 3 very good asanas for any form of heart diseases, ailments. Now we move to the next ailment, which is respiratory ailments. Lots of people are going through respiratory ailments because COVID has hit the world, struck the world in such a surprising and devastating way. So we'll do 3 asanas for respiratory ailments. So we'll start with Bhujangasana. Bhujangasana is also known as the cobra pose. In this, the stomach will stay on the ground. So there are 2 ways of doing the Bhujangasana. So we will do both. So we'll do the half cobra and the full cobra. So we start by sitting in Vajrasana. So you sit in Vajrasana. Slowly we stretch the arms forward, going down, taking the hips down, coming down. Hands are under the shoulders. Elbows are close to the body. Head, chest, and shoulders are up. Elbows are bent. We're looking forward and we're deep breathing. Bhujangasana. Staying in this posture, deep breathing. We are strengthening the back of our lower back. We are strengthening our core. And we're activating the respiratory system. Very good for the lungs. Deep, deep breathing. And then once you've taken 4 or 5 deep breaths here, we'll push into our hands, coming up, elbows straight, shoulders are directly over the elbows, and we look up. Open up your shoulders. So externally rotate the shoulders, open up the chest, looking up. And then slowly bending the elbows backwards. Gently we come down, stomach on the ground, chest on the ground, forehead on the ground. And then gently we turn to one side and we sit up. So this was the first asana for respiratory ailments. This was the Bhujangasana. Now we'll do the second asana, which is the Matsya Asana or the fish pose. So in Matsya Asana, we have to lie down on our back. So we lie down on our back. In this also, we are opening the chest. So we lie down on our back. We take the arms under our back. So we turn to one side and we bring the arms in. You can lock your thumbs. So the palms are facing the ground, straighten the elbows. You can roll back down. So the elbows are under the back, under the body, and so are your arms. Then you can remove the finger lock, stretching the legs forward, toes pointing forward. Now as we inhale, inhaling deeply, on the exhale, we lift the head, the chest, the shoulders, coming onto our elbows, and then we drop the head down, so the top of the head is on the ground. Pushing the chest up, deep breathing, long deep breaths. Keep your weight on the elbows, and just the top of the head touches the ground. The weight is on your elbows. And deep breathing. The feet are completely relaxed. The legs are relaxed, the feet are relaxed. Your weight is on your elbows. And then slowly as we inhale, we raise the head up, chin to the chest, and gently we bring the body down. And then just turning to one side and sitting up. Just turn to one side and we sit up. Excellent. Now we'll do the third asana. The third asana for respiratory ailment. We're going to now do the Ushtrasana or the camel pose. So in the Ushtrasana or the camel pose, we start by sitting in Vajrasana and then we come up. But in this, we separate the knees. So let's do Ushtrasana. So once again, making sure there's some space in front of us, there's some space behind us. We sit in Vajrasana and then we come up. We open our knees out. So you want to open your knees out. So your knees are in line with your shoulders. And the toes could be pointing back or tucked in depending on how much range you want. So you could either keep them pointing back or you could keep them tucked in. As we inhale, we raise the right arm up. Exhaling, going down, right hand on the right heel. Inhaling, left arm up. Exhaling down, left arm on the left heel. Slowly we drop the head down, pushing the hips forward. Push the hips forward and deep breathing. And then slowly as we inhale, we raise the right arm up, coming up. Left arm up, coming up. Gently bring the legs together, the feet together, hips to the heels. And we'll do a short child's pose or Shishupasana just to relax the back. So gently we just go down, forehead on the ground. Just 1 or 2 deep breaths here. And then slowly bringing the hands under our shoulders, pushing into our hands and coming up. Excellent. Now we have one last ailment. So we will do 3 more asanas. So we're going to talk about diabetes. Diabetes is one ailment that is so common, especially in India. Like some research said that over 50% of certain individuals after an age of 65 develop diabetes, unfortunately, very high percentage, so 40 to 50%. So very easy to control. We'll do 3 asanas. So one is we'll do Tadasana, then we'll do the Dhanurasana, and we'll do the Supta Matsyendra Asana. So let's start with Tadasana. So in Tadasana, we'll stand up. So we'll again stand in Samastitihi. Samastitihi is we bring the legs together, the feet together, arms by the side of the body. Externally rotating the shoulders, pushing them down, pushing the head up. Squeezing the stomach, pulling it in and up. Squeezing the hips, your buttocks, squeeze them in. Squeeze the knees, take the knees back and up. Lift the knees up. Lift the arches of your feet up. Consciously lift. Push the big toe down, lift the arches up. So we are standing in Samastitihi or attention. You can practice this asana also every day in your life. Every 4-5 hours, just stand in this asana. It's very good for your posture. Now from here, as we inhale, we take the arms up, going onto our toes, interlacing the fingers, palms facing upwards, stretching the spine upwards, keeping the heels off the ground, fixing our gaze at a point in front of us to hold our balance. Keep the heels up, deep breathing. Slowly as we exhale, we bring the arms down to the side, heels to the ground. We'll do this one more time. This is also very good for your calf muscle. And a strong calf muscle is a strong heart muscle. So Tadasana is very good for cardiac ailments also. Any asana which works on your calf muscle, indirectly you're working on the heart muscle. So let's start again. Samasthiti, standing straight. Feet can be either completely together or a little bit apart. It depends from person to person, individual preferences. Inhaling deeply, we take the arms up, interlacing the fingers, palms facing upward, going onto our toes. Holding this up, holding our balance. Heels are off the ground, stretching the spine up. Deep breathing, long, deep breaths. And slowly as we exhale, gently coming down. Bring the heels down slowly. The slower you bring them down, the more you're working with your ankle and your calf muscle. Also very good for people with flat feet because we're working on the muscle in the soles of our feet. So it helps us develop arches. So Tadasana. Now we'll do the second asana, Dhanurasana. So for Dhanurasana, we have to lie on our stomach. It's the bow pose. So let's lie down on our stomach. So once again, we'll come into Vajrasana. From Vajrasana, we'll slowly go down, lying onto our stomach. Toes pointing backwards. Chest on the ground, forehead on the ground. We lift the right leg up. We take the right hand and we hold the right ankle or the right toe, whatever you can reach, forehead on the ground. We take the left leg up, holding the left ankle or the toe. As we inhale, we look forward, lifting the head, chest and shoulders up, and then lifting the knees up, looking forward. Deep breathing. Try and lift the knees as high up as you can. Lift the front of the body and come to the softer part of your tummy. So roll forward a little bit. Roll forward, looking up. Keep those knees up. Deep breathing in this asana. Push those knees up. Long, deep breaths. And then slowly as we exhale, we gently bring the knees down. Chest on the ground, forehead on the ground. Letting go of our legs. We gently turn to one side and we sit up. So for diabetes, we've done two asanas. One was Tadasana, the stretching, going up on our toes. And then second one was Dhanurasana or bow pose, lying down on our stomach. Now the third asana is the Supta Matsyendra Asana, the lying down spinal twist. There are actually multiple ways of doing this. We will demonstrate two ways in which the feet and the knees are together and in which the feet and the knees are apart. So we'll work with both the ways. So let's lie down again. Now in this, we'll keep the feet apart. We won't keep the feet together. The right foot will be close to the right side of your mat. Left foot will be close to the left side of your mat. We lie down, we stretch the arms out. Palms are facing down. So palms are facing down. Inhaling deeply On the exhale, we drop the knees to the right. So bring the knees to the right. So the left knee is close to the right foot. And we turn the head to the left. We are twisting. Supta Matsyendra Asana. And deep breathing. Make sure the shoulders are on the ground. And try to bring the knees as far close to the ground as you can. Now inhaling, knees to the center, head to the center. Keeping the feet apart, we will drop the knees to the left as we exhale. So we drop the knees to the left and we take the head to the right. So now the right knee is close to the left foot. And you are looking at your right hand. The lying down, spinal twist. So Matsyendra Asana. And deep breathing over here. And then slowly we bring the knees to the center, head to the center. Now we'll do it with the feet together, with the knees together. So bring the feet together, knees together. Dropping our knees to the right. So the knees are stacked one on top of each other. The feet are stacked one on top of each other. Shoulders are on the ground and we look to the left. Inhaling, coming up, knees to the center, head to the center. Exhaling, knees to the left, we look to the right. Once again, the knees are stacked one on top of each other. The feet are stacked one on top of each other. The shoulders are on the ground. Palms are facing downwards. And we are looking towards the fingertips. Relax the shoulders. Make sure they're on the ground. Deep breathing, long deep breath. Inhaling to a count of 3 or 4. Exhaling to a count of 6, 7, or 8. And then slowly we come to the center, head to the center. And then gently we turn to one side and we sit up. So these were the 3 asanas. These were the 3 asanas we did for diabetes. So we started with Tadasana on our toes. We went up. Then we did Dhanurasana, the bow asana, bow pose on our tummy, on our stomach. And then we did the Supta Matsyendra Asana, the spinal twist. So we've actually now done 15 asanas where we have included 3 asanas for all these 5 ailments. We will quickly show you a recap, once we go back and we take question and answers. But just before we do question and answers, we want to quickly do 1 minute of 3 pranayam techniques, deep breathing techniques we want to practice. So can we all just get ready to do some pranayam now? So we sit in a cross-leg posture. Let's sit in a cross-leg posture. We start with Adham Pranayam or diaphragmatic breathing. Hands are in Chin Mudra or Jnana Mudra. The first segment of the thumb touches the first segment of the index finger. The fingers are straight. You could relax the elbows or you could keep them straight. It's absolutely your choice. The neck is in line with the spine. The chin is slightly tucked in to take the pressure off the spine. So the skull is a very heavy bone. So just gently tuck the neck in and we'll breathe from our stomach. When we inhale, we'll forcefully push the stomach out. When we exhale, we'll pull the stomach in and we'll squeeze it into the spinal column. Nichod ke, squeeze the stomach and take it all the way back to your spinal column. Let's do this 10 to 12 times. The Adham Pranayam. Long deep breath, inhaling to a count of 3 or 4, exhaling to a count of 6, 7 or 8. And then slowly we'll open our eyes. Now, just a note, we don't need to fight with the body when we're doing this. The reason we forcefully take the stomach out is it's very gentle. If you're not used to it, you do it forcefully. And if you're not used to taking the stomach back, you do it forcefully. But the purpose of pranayam is to do it with lots of ease and relaxation. You're not fighting with the body, so you don't need to struggle. Even if it's very little initially, it's fine. The purpose is to relax and to do this for 2 to 3 minutes every day. Inhaling stomach out, exhaling stomach in. Adham Pranayam. Now we'll do the next pranayam practice. We'll do the Kapalbhati Pranayam or fire breathing, where we only exhale. So it's called air pumping. So let's do 60 air pumping. We'll do 3 rounds of 60, 60 each. Mentally, we'll count that we're doing 60. So let's do that. So inhaling deeply and start. And exhaling completely. Once again, in this practice, we only exhale. The inhalation is happening very naturally. So we are not inhaling, we are only exhaling. As we exhale, we pull the stomach and the diaphragm muscle in to create an air pumping. Like, just pull this in. So we'll do the second round. Again, anywhere between 40 to 50, if you can, we'll do 60. We try and keep this to a limit, because if you do too much, sometimes people with high blood pressure, their blood pressure rises. We have to be very mindful when we start doing this as a beginner, not to do too much. Also, you get very lightheaded and dizzy sometimes. So let's do 40 to 50 at our own pace. Hands in Chin Mudra, Jnana Mudra. Whenever we're ready, we can start. And exhaling completely. Once again, we will not squeeze the facial muscles. We will not put unnecessary pressure. We will just do this at our own pace as we breathe out slightly forcefully. You don't need to breathe out with full force. At our own pace, comfortable. Pranayam has to be done with ease. We are not fighting with the body. So we'll do one last round of Kapalbhati pranayam. So again, we'll do about 40 pumping just for time constraint. Ideally, you can do anywhere between 40 to 60 and you can do 3 rounds. And between every round, you can take a few deep breaths. So let's do one last round. We'll do 40 air pumping. So inhaling deeply and start. And exhaling completely. Now we'll do one last pranayam practice. We'll do the alternate nostril breathing or Nadi Shodhan, also called Anulom Vilom pranayam, where we inhale from the left nostril, we exhale from the right, we inhale from the right, and we exhale from the left. Right hand will be in Vishnu Mudra, Mudra of balance. So basically, we fold the index finger and the ring finger in. So we use the thumb and the ring finger. The index finger and the middle finger are folded. We are using the thumb and the ring finger. If some people cannot do this, you can keep the index finger and the middle finger up, and you can use your thumb and your ring finger. The little finger rests on the ring finger. So we use the thumb and the ring finger, and gently we just oscillate between the two nostrils. So we inhale from the left, exhale from the right, again inhale from the right and exhale from the left nostril. Between every inhalation and exhalation, you can hold the breath for a few seconds to start with. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever the comfort of the body is. So let's do Anulom Vilom pranayam. So keep the shoulder very relaxed, keep the elbow relaxed, right thumb to the right nostril. Let's do 3 rounds. 1 round is in from the left, out from the right, in from the right, out from the left with the breath retention. So we'll do 3 rounds at our own pace. Let's start. And one last round of deep breathing. In from the left, blocking the left nostril, out from the right, in from the right, blocking the right nostril, and out from the left. And then slowly we bring the arm down. All these pranayam practices have multiple benefits. They balance our energy levels in the body, our masculine and our feminine energy. They balance all the hormones and the enzymes in our body. They work directly on the endocrine system, creating a balance of our endorphins. So we produce more dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin in the body to calm the body down, to calm the mind down. Very relaxing practices. We power up the brain. So we increase memory capacity, we increase concentration, focus. We increase the amount of time we can retain information. So long-term memory, short-term memory. We have enhanced awareness. All your senses come alive. The brain comes alive. Your ENT passages open up. Our ear, nose, and our throat cavities open up. we strengthen our lung muscles. We strengthen the heart muscles. So it's very good for the heart, for the circulatory system. It's very good for the respiratory system. So today we did 15 yoga asanas and we did 3 pranayam practices. So I would urge you to, look into this and to make this a daily part of your life. Now we'll just open up the session for question and answer. If anyone has questions, we can open up our cameras and just get into a quick question and answer session. So let me know if any of you have any questions about what we did today, about what we spoke of, since, we spoke about so many things in the session today, about balance, about lifestyle, about rest, about relaxation, about sleep, about creating meaning and purpose in our life. So, so you can either put your questions in the chat, or you could maybe raise your hand and we can help answer that. Siddharth, can you help with the question answers if we have any?
Anybody who has questions can unmute themselves. Alternatively, you can also put it in chat.
Is there any regular practice for this? So let me try to understand your question. Do you mean that how often should one do this? Or do you mean, is there a sequence to this that one can follow?
Hi, hello. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, my question is that if there is any like guided session like this one that we can attend regularly, like every second day or every week.
So I am taking online yoga classes. You can contact me personally, and we have classes 5 days a week, and we do a lot of these asanas. It comes at a very nominal price, so I could share that with you. So this is something that we can do, but particularly in today's workshop and today's session, we worked with 5 ailments of the body. We worked with anxiety and stress. We worked with hypertension, panic, and we worked with cardiac ailments, with respiratory ailments, and with diabetes. And I'm going to be doing workshops, once or twice a week as well, especially for anxiety and depression. So just contact me personally, and I can share routine with you. If you want to attend my class, you could attend my class. So we can talk about that. Is that all right? Any more questions? Okay, there's a question here from Madhu. In our daily routine, will you please recommend a series of yoga asanas we must follow? Yes, of course. So Madhu, basically, the purpose of yoga is to keep the body fit and healthy, and to keep the body energized. So when we stretch our spine in 7 different directions, we really energize the body. So what are these 7 directions? One is the upward direction, which is Tadasana. The second is the forward bend, which is standing forward bend. You could do the Padhastasana, or you could do the Paschimottanasana, the seated forward bend. Then the third is the back bend. So you could do Setubandhasana, you can do Bhujangasana, you could do Ushtrasana, Matsyasana, all the back bends that we did. Any one of those you could do. Side to side twisting. So right side and left side twisting. The Trikonasana, the triangle pose, where you twist the spine right and left. And the 6th and the 7th are twisting, not in the direction, but literally twisting. So you could do the Ardhya Matsyendra Asana, or you could do the Trikonasana B, which is a little difficult. So any asana which twists the spine. So the Ardhya Matsyendra asana is a very good one to start with, or just general right hand on the left shoulder, left arm back, and you twist the body. So you could do that standing, you could do that sitting. So these are the 7 directions. If you manage to twist your spine in 7 directions every day, upward, forward, backward, right bend, right twist, left twist. You could do this standing, you could do this sitting, you could do this lying down. We have many asanas, 300,000 yoga asanas. It is a very good sequence to keep the body healthy, very basic, but very good from the energy point of view. If you want to strengthen the body, then we have to work a little bit more on other strength.
There's another question. If someone has a lower back problem, which posture and position can a person avoid? This comes from Pallavi.
Okay. So if you have a lower back problem, then doing more backward bends and less forward bends. So Setu Bandhasana is very good for you. The standing forward bend you do at your own pace and try, and as the muscles of the lower back strengthen, the flexibility will come. So asanas to avoid initially, you can do half asanas. You don't need to avoid anything completely. If your lower back is weak, avoid the standing forward bend completely. Do a half forward bend. Avoid the Paschimottanasana completely. Do a half Paschimottanasana, but do more backward bending. That will strengthen your back, especially Setu Bandhasana. And the asanas where we were lying down on the stomach, the Dhanurasana, or then there is also the locust pose, which is very good, where you raise the leg up. There are some other asanas also we can do. Yes, tell me.
Anusha has a question, and then Ghazanfar.
Hi, Shivani.
Hello.
You can hear me because my internet is very unstable today. My question is that during COVID, I mean after COVID especially, the Kapalbhati has become a problem. My diaphragm area starts paining after it. So I do very little of it, but the rest of the pranayama I carried right through the infection.
Okay.
So should I stop or should I carry on and it will go away?
I would request you to carry on at your pace, at a lower pace. Kapalbhati does put a little more pressure on the diaphragm muscle. So do Kapalbhati in breaks. Do 10-10 pumpings each between every round. Take a few deep breaths and do it very gently. So do the Kapalbhati, but do it less. And you don't need to put any pressure. All we're doing is slightly exhaling from the nostrils. And just do 10. Relax for 15-20 seconds, then do another 10. And then you can do 3 rounds. You can do 30 every day.
Thank you.
Ghazanfar has a question. He says, I often feel muscle strain in my legs below my knees, and I have a minor muscle injury near my spine. Kindly suggest yoga for both.
Okay. So you get the muscle pain below your knees, behind the leg, in front of the leg.
Ghazanfar, you can unmute and ask. आप unmute कर लीजिए. आप खुद भी पूछ सकते हैं. सानिया help है? कहाँ चले गए?
So below my knee, I am guessing it's in the front of your leg.
Ghazanfar sir, आपको request जा रही होगी.
आपने unmute कर लिया, पूछ लीजिए. आपका unmute हो गया है.
Okay. So आप बताएंगे आपको ये पेन टांग के आगे की तरफ होता है कि पीछे की तरफ? घुटने के नीचे, आगे की तरफ कि पीछे की तरफ? अगर आगे की तरफ है, so some asanas to do is the chair pose. It's a very good asana. It's like a half squat where I can show it to you. It's basically, so
ये मसल्स की तरफ होता है below the knees, जो bones के ठीक पीछे का जो portion होता है.
टांग के
Behind the knees.
Behind the knee.
Yes.
Okay, so calf muscle के ऊपर है कि calf muscle के नीचे?
Ma'am,
Just the knees.
whole portion affected.
Whole portion under the knee.
Ji. Yes.
So Tadasana is very good. Then because we need
Okay.
to strengthen your calf muscle and your hamstring. So ये जो हमने ताड़ासन किया था, अपने heels को ऊपर ले जाना, नीचे ले जाना. We come on our toes and then we pick the heels down. We come on our toes, we go the heels down. तो आप ये कीजिए. Do little bit of toe walking. Walk on your toes and walk on your heels. Keep the toes off the ground. Walk 10 steps forward on your heels. Walk 10 steps back on your heels. Walk 10 steps forward on your toes. Walk 10 steps back on your toes. Automatically, the calf muscle, the muscle behind the knee, the hamstring will start getting strengthened. फिर एक आसन होता है where you lie down on the stomach. आप अपने arms को आगे करिए और अपने टांगों को पीछे करिए. As we inhale, we raise the right arm and the left leg. Alternate. अगर right arm ऊपर आ रहा है तो left leg ऊपर जाएगी. घुटने को सीधा रखिए. Toes pointing back. We come down on the exhale and then left hand up, right leg up. Look forward. What you can
Dr.
do,
Bhavna has a question.
you can message me. I will put my email here and it's on the slide. And then you can message me or email me and I'm happy to talk to you about this.
Bhavna Singh has a question. Bhavna ji, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Shivani ji, it was an excellent session. It was an awesome session. Believe me, it was the best yoga section I have ever attended. And since morning, I'm attending International Yoga Day celebrations. I know a lot, but this was the best I had. And apart from yoga, you know, your talk on creating balance in your life was super. I have this question, then what do you recommend is the best time to do all those practices you said to bring balance in life? The morning or evening after you are, you know, tired of your daily chores and all? What is the best time?
The best time to bring balance in your life is every single moment.
Oh, that is not possible. So what do you recommend?
So bringing balance in our life is basically living a very consciously aware life. So whatever you are doing in your life, doing it with full awareness. I don't know which particular practice you are referring to because I spoke of a lot of practices.
You know, all kinds, me time, gratitude journal, everything you talked about. Apart from the food and everything which is throughout the day, particular things like writing gratitude and me time.
Fit it into your routine. For if you're an early morning person, wake up half an hour early to do this. Just say, I will wake up half an hour earlier than I wake up because I have to strengthen myself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So to get that strength, we have to invest. The more we invest in our life, the more we get back. So do it in the morning. If you think you get more time in the evening and waking up half an hour earlier is not possible because already you probably wake up at 5 or 5:30. So do it at night before you sleep. Take that half an hour before you sleep to do a small meditation, do a small me time, journal in, affirmations work beautifully, self-belief. Just do things that make you feel good and just rub it in. Listen to music, have a shower, dance, talk to yourself in the mirror, appreciate yourself. Really, I've started doing that. Before I brush my teeth, I say something nice to myself in the mirror. Very good feeling, compliment yourself, pat yourself on the back, because don't expect others to do it. Do it yourself. And when we start doing this and we start appreciating ourselves, you don't need external validation. You don't need the world to tell you how awesome you are, because each and every one of you over here are awesome people with some fabulously unique strengths, which we need to bring out, because you've come onto this planet for a purpose. So we have to recognize what this purpose is, what our mission is. And we'll only do that when we listen to ourselves and we listen to our body and we're kind to ourselves. So let's start being kind to ourselves now. And also, rub your cheek, maybe kiss your hand and rub your cheek. Very nice feeling. So
Priyanka Verma has a question, and Shikha is asking, can you do these asanas during menstruation or should they be avoided?
So, you know, on your first day of your menstruation cycle, or maybe on your first 2 days, depending on your flow and the heaviness of your flow, I would say avoid yoga in general. Pranayam also, Anulom Vilom can be done. Basic Adham Pranayam can be done. Kapal Bhati, please avoid. But from the third day onwards, you know, it's absolutely fine. We haven't done any inversions. Adhomukh Savanasana, the downward facing dog, that you can avoid for all 7 days, or how many ever days your menstruation is. Some people have it for 5 days, some people have it for 8 to 9 days. So first 3 days, I would avoid all yoga asanas. After that, you can do everything except for inverted postures. So we haven't done headstand or handstand, but Adhomukh Savanasana, the downward facing dog, also counts as an inversion. So that you can avoid. Otherwise, you can do all.
Okay, so now there is Priyanka who has a question. We can only have time for 2 or 3 more. Here's what I'm suggesting. Shivani, I'm voluntolding you. That is a new term I've learned from my social enterprise network, that when you volunteer somebody else's time. So I'm saying that since people have so many questions, maybe later at another time, you could have just a Q&A session where people can, or you can invite them to one of your sessions where if they have questions, particular questions, you can answer them. There are many, but I'll only take these 2. One is from Shraddha, and she's saying, what is a good posture for lower leg pain near the ankle area and feet? And then Priyanka has raised her hand for a long time. So Priyanka, if you'll unmute and ask your question after this. So first answer Shraddha's question, please, and then you can, Priyanka will ask her.
Yeah, I can't read the question. So can you just repeat it again? Can you
so Shraddha asked, what is a good posture for pain in the lower leg near the ankle area and feet?
Okay. So when you say pain, is this a muscular? Okay. So basically, we want to strengthen it and we want to make it flexible. So all the standing asanas strengthen our ankles. All the balancing asanas strengthen our ankles, and they help pain go away. So the Vrikshasana we did is a very good asana to help you strengthen your ankle muscles, your ankle joint. It is also very good for the quadricep muscle, the hamstring muscle, and the glute muscles. To stretch the ankle and the calf, either forward or backwards. If you sit in Dandasana is when you're sitting with the spine straight and your leg, out, stretch forward, toes pointing up. Just take the toes forward and then take the toes backward. So push the toes forward, arch the arches of your feet, and feel the top of the ankle completely stretch. And then take the toes and point them back to your head. So the heels of the feet are a little bit off the ground. So that works the ankle joint, it mobilizes the ankle joint, and it eases it up. And then standing asanas are very good balancing asanas. Garud asana is also a very good asana. Someone else had asked that you have pain in your lower back radiating to the leg. If it's a sciatica pain, which we have a nerve getting pinched, Garud asana is a very good asana. Then toes pointing forward and back, Vrikshasana is very good. Also the chair pose where you squat. So the feet are together, you're sitting down like you're sitting on a chair, but you're not completely going down. So you're working on your quadricep muscles and your knee joint. Very good asana. So if you write to me individually, I'll be able to talk to you a little bit more and I can explain it to you, and I'm happy to do that. Please, I can also share my phone number here. If anyone wants to reach out, please reach out. I hope
so there is 2 questions we'll take. Dubey sir. First, Priyanka. Priyanka, can you unmute and ask, beta?
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, any asana for removing flat foot?
Removing what?
Ma'am, flat foot.
Flat foot.
Yes, ma'am.
Shivani, flat foot ke liye.
Yes. Once again, yeah. So yes, there is an asana that you can use. Can you just someone put my, yeah, it's gone through. Yeah. So again, sitting, toes pointing forward, toes pointing back is an excellent asana for flat feet. Tadasana, going up on your toes, heels coming down, going up on your toes, heels coming down. That is very good. Just keeping the toes pointing up and squeezing the toes in and out. So like, imagine these are my feet, this is my big toe and these are my toes. Just squeeze these in and out about 30 or 40 times. You start feeling the muscle on the side of your lower leg strengthen. This muscle goes down and it goes up in the center of the foot. So when we strengthen this muscle, it goes all the way down. I forget the name of the muscle, but I can give it to you if you call me. It's a long name, the Heliax maximus, some muscle. So basically, crunch your toes. Or what you can do, this is not yoga, but it's very good for flat feet. You take a dupatta, put it on the floor. Put the heel of the foot on one side of the dupatta and collect the dupatta with your toes. Just pull the dupatta in. Keep pulling, pulling, pulling till the full dupatta has come and you're using your toes. Same thing we are doing. Toes in and out. Squeeze the toes in and out. Going up on
Dubey sir, and Shikha has a just related question that she has a 4-year-old son and he can probably do these exercises too, right?
Yes, these were very basic, so he can do these asanas.
Dubey sir, aapka last question.
Yes. Excuse me, auntie.
Bolo.
Auntie, doing backward bending in standing position, should we inhale or exhale?
Exhale.
While going backward.
Exhale.
Exhale.
Yes.
If I does the exhale and then while coming in normal position, then I feel some giddiness.
Why should stand and show?
You don't keep the exhale. So in Surya Namaskar, when we inhale and we go up from standing forward, bend and we arch the back, we are inhaling. We are exhaling while going down. But when from a standing position, you're pushing the hips forward and you're just going back,
yes.
You exhale and you go back, because when we exhale, the muscles relax. So any form of movement is done on the exhale, because at that time the muscle is relaxing. When you take the hips back, please start breathing again. Don't hold the exhale. If you're holding the backward bend, keep breathing. On the inhale, you come back straight. Support your back while going back. I can quickly show this to you.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. So we are going to stand. You can keep your hands behind, fingers pointing down, thumbs to the side. So you're just supporting your back. So you inhale deeply, on feet apart, feet in line with our shoulders. On the exhale, you just push the hips forward. You drop the spine, you drop the head, and you go down.
Awesome.
And on the inhale, you come back up. When you are down, you please breathe. Don't just hold the exhale, because if you're staying down for too long, you don't want to just deprive the body. If you are comfortable exhaling and holding the exhale while there's a vacuum in the body, it's absolutely fine. But if this is something new to you, I would recommend breathing.
Okay, thank you so much, Shivani. First of all, on behalf of everybody, and it was a very, very enlightening session, very informative session, and I might add a very engaging session. So thank you, and you know, I have to say this, I had determined not to say it, but as a mother, I was very proud. So thank you so much for it. And I think everybody got a lot out of it. I also want to say this to everyone. Rajesh sir has been my teacher for a long time, and I learned many postures from him, and I made it a daily practice, just 20 minutes. And I'm telling you, it is really very good for you to do it every day. So I want to second what Shivani said. It's just 20 minutes, very important for your life, and it's very important to do it for yourself. And yoga, the whole world is celebrating it. Hum log India mein reh ke, we should do it every day, no? So thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you, Rajesh sir, Kalpana. Rajesh sir, my guru, and Kalpana ji, and of course you, Shivani. And as I mentioned, just to tell you again that maybe you could offer these sessions from time to time, and perhaps maybe do just a well-being session also at some point, where, you know, all the things you mentioned earlier in your talk, and that Bhavna asked about when can we do this. Maybe in smaller chunks, if you could help them practice some of this. Because well-being has become very, very important. And we all know during COVID, very important. I think Dr. Bhavna is here, she will tell you that it's so important for your well-being, for your mental health. So we would benefit from that too. So from time to time, we hope you will come and work to do this for us again. I also want to tell everyone that I think on Saturday, you will get a notice. We have two doctors, Dr. Bhavna with us, and there will be Dr. Pia Sanyan, and they will talk about post-COVID recovery and also about all the fears around vaccination. But in the meanwhile, thank you, Shivani, for an excellent session. You kept saying excellent fraud. Well, let's throw that back at you. For an excellent session, and we look forward to seeing you again. Meanwhile, maybe you can do a Q&A with everyone separately. They have many questions. We haven't been able to take them all. Okay, because we've already run over 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes. And I don't think we can keep people for longer or you that much longer. So please do this another time, and we'll really be very grateful. Thank you so much.
I just want to take an opportunity to thank everyone for attending the session. And, you know, to say that, yes, we will have a follow-up Q&A session. I'll try and organize that within the next 2 weeks. So everyone who's registered for this session, we'll send an email out and we'll plan the session, and we'll probably do it, you know, in 2 weeks, not the next week, but possibly the following week. We'll do it soon, so we don't lose too much time.
And also here's another suggestion, and I don't know for everybody also, what I've noticed, and I know that it really works, that see, well-being is not something you learn in 2 hours or even 1 hour. It takes a while. So if it's possible to do a little short course where you meet twice a week, let's say, or even once a week, and you do certain well-being practices, then you practice for the week, and then you come back and then do another couple practices and come back and do another, and you share with each other about how you are feeling with that. I know I learned doing affirmations a year ago, and I've made it my daily practice, and it is so good. It's a very easy, small practice, but it's very good. Okay, so I would recommend that maybe if, especially during these times, we can have a short, maybe over a month, 6 sessions, or I don't know, that's up to you.
I'll plan a little package, a very holistic well-being package, and I'll share that with everyone. But now let's focus on the question and answers, and maybe we could do a little more practice of pranayam when we do the next session, the pranayam, or we can do some other yoga posture that could come up with a basic sequence. The basic Shivananda sequence of 12 poses is excellent. So we can learn that sequence, and it's very good for daily life. We can learn the Surya Namaskar, the sun salutation. So we'll plan that very soon, and we'll keep like maybe an hour for question answers. And I also run meditation sessions in the evening on Wednesday, and I do this from the gratitude of my heart. So anyone who wants to attend these sessions, please do come. They're available for everyone. They're on Wednesday, 6:45 to 7:20, 7:25. They're about 30 to 40 minutes. And we do every alternate practice. We do a week, we do chanting, and then we do some form of mindfulness. If you're interested, send me an email or send me a WhatsApp message, and I'll share the details with you.